All right, here we go. So welcome to Coffee with Markus. Today is May 12th, and this is episode 36 of Coffee with Markus. Now, in the next few minutes, we'll take a look at the markets, and then I want to focus on your questions. Now, one of the questions that I received is, I can get into a winning trade very often, but where I struggle is where to get out and take profits. So, this viewer is asking, can you speak to your strategy for taking profits? That's what we're going to talk about today. Hope you can hear me just fine. Hope you can see me, that everything is good, because we are ready to jump right at the markets and see what is happening here today. And here we go. As you can see, the Dow right now is slightly down, almost 200 points, which is 0.8%. And the key question is, what is happening here? So let's take a look at an intraday chart and let's see what happened throughout the day. So this morning, we actually opened slightly higher than we closed yesterday. But then you see, we have this steady decline throughout the day. So why is that? What is happening? Why is the Dow pulling down here? Well, this is where we have some conflicting information of what is going on with our economy. So right now, Dr. Fauci is saying we opened it too early. There are still some spikes that are going on. And let's actually take a look at the charts, because as you know, that's what I like to do. I like to look at the facts. So there is this website, Worldometer, that shows us how many cases we have also new every single day. And this is where you see, yes, we are slightly declining, but we are still at around 20,000 new cases a day here. And we also have around, well, until recently, almost 2,000 deaths. So yes, it seems that the whole new cases have slowed down, that we have peaked, but it hasn't been going down as quickly as we thought. And this is what we see in the markets. Now, if we take a look at the NASDAQ, and you know that we talked about the NASDAQ in the email that I sent you just half an hour ago, the NASDAQ, where we have more tech-heavy stocks, it's doing much better. Here is the high. Let's actually zoom out a little bit so that you see. This is the high for the year, or it is even the all-time high. And as you can see, we're getting really, really close to an all-time high. So why is that? Why is the NASDAQ outperforming the Dow here? Because if you look at the Dow, we're not even halfway there. If you look at the S&P, it's getting a little bit better, but as you can see, the NASDAQ is clearly outperforming it. So why is that? Well, because in the NASDAQ, we have more tech-heavy stocks. And with more tech-heavy stocks, we're not as dependent on the closures. As you know, for example, Amazon. Let's actually take a look at some more charts here. So Amazon, during this crisis, AMZN, did really well. As you know, they made new all-time highs here during the crisis. So at first they got hit, but then we're going all the way up. Stocks like Facebook, Google, right? I mean, they are recovering rather quickly. Compare this to some of the Dow heavyweights, like, for example, Disney, where you see Disney was crashing down and is still trading in a range here. Or what else did we have? 3M or Boeing, for example. Boeing is also in the Dow. So Boeing weighing heavy on the Dow, as you can see, crashing down here and then just going sideways. Now, again, compare this to some of the stocks that are in the NASDAQ, like Google, where we already have a really nice rebound and recovery. Netflix, NFLX, another stock that is here right now making new all-time highs, right? Is it all-time highs? Let's switch to a weekly chart here really quick. I believe it is. Yep, we are making new all-time highs on Netflix, because during the pandemic, I mean, this is what people did. They signed up for Netflix. They watched Netflix. I actually saw some funny memes where somebody said, well, I'm out of Netflix. What do I do next? Anyhow, so this is what is going on here. And this is why we always want to make sure that we trade what we see, not what we think, right? Let's enjoy coffee together. So I see that there's a bunch of questions, and that's what we are going to do today. I have a few questions that I received from you that I want to answer today, but then also the questions for those of you who are watching live here, that we can answer the questions. Okay, everybody can see me, everybody can hear me. Fantastic. So I want to just jump right onto the first question, one of the questions that I got because I think it is a very important one. So here's the question. The question is, I can get into a winning trade very often. Where I struggle is where to get out and take profits. Can you speak to your strategy for taking profits? Well, the first thing that confused me here is that you're saying that you can get into a winning trade very often. How do you know if it is a winning trade? So let me just write down a few things. It is very important. You never know whether a trade is a winning trade or not. And here's why. This is very important. Money is made and lost when you exit the trade. You see, this is where I always say a monkey can enter the market. You must have a solid exit strategy. So let's talk about an exit strategy here. So first of all, as an exit strategy, you need to know when to get out with a loss, which would be a stop loss, and you need to know when to take profits. And I like to work with profit targets, and here's why. I like the market to come to me. Now, when it comes to profit target, you can have multiple profit targets. That is possible. And I want to show you today exactly on one very specific trade that I'm in right now of why I'm placing multiple profit targets here, because I think it is very important. Now, the stop loss, if you have been following me for a while, you already know. My rule of thumb here is never risk, never risk more than 2% of your account on any given trade. Because this way, you'll make sure that you're not getting wiped out. So yes, if you would like to know exactly my profit-taking strategy and my stop loss, let me show you a very specific trade that I have for you right now. So I want to jump to my account, and this is a trade that I did take this morning with my mastermind group. So as you know, I told you this week I'm trading live with my mastermind group. So this morning we identified a trade on EQT. Now we used PowerX Optimizer to identify the trade, and EQT was here a short trade. So this means that we are betting on a falling market. And yes, you can do this. You can bet on a rising market and you can bet on a falling market. So here we're looking at a falling market. Now, in this account, this is a really small account that I'm trading here together with my mastermind group. It is it's actually a $25,000, $26,000 account, but I'm treating it like a $10,000 account. So let's go back to this trade. So when it comes to a stop loss, okay, so for this particular trade on a $10,000 account, I will risk $200 on this trade. And this trade is EQT. Again, this is a trade that PowerX Optimizer identified here. And this is what we traded here this morning. So let me show you exactly how this works. I'm going to jump to PowerX Optimizer here in just a moment. Here we go. And we're going to take a look at EQT. This is the trade that we identified here this morning. So EQT was a sell at 13.14. So again, we're betting on a falling market. And so we have our stop loss at $16.08. So this means $2.94 per share. So let me show you exactly what this means. So again, the stop loss on this trade, the entry was at, what did I just say? Already forgot. 13.14, okay? So the entry at 13.14, I think I got filled a little bit worse at 13.10, 13.11, something like this. Anyhow, you get the idea. And we want this stock to go down since we are short on this stock. So let me just mark this in red. So we're going short, meaning, there we go, that we are betting on a falling market. So now we have a stop loss of, what did PowerX Optimizer say? $2.94 per share. $2.94 per one share that we are trading. Now, if we want to risk, if the overall risk is $200, the question now is, how many shares, there we go, how many shares can I trade? And here's how we do it. We take the $200 and divide it by $2.94 that we have on one share that we want to risk. And when we do this, we take the $200 by $2.94. We arrive at exactly 68 shares. Now, what I like to do, I like to round to the nearest 10. And here's why. You're just getting better fills if you're going to the nearest 10. Because in order to actually be able to sell 68 shares, somebody else has to buy 68 shares from you. Now, what do you think? How likely is this? Not very likely, right? So especially if you have a very specific price. So your broker is piecing the order together and says, okay, so Marcus, you want to sell for $13.14 and you want to sell 68 shares. Who wants to buy 68 shares at this price? Oh, 50 shares to you, 10 shares to you, 10 shares to you, and then there's a few left, and you see it never works. So this is why here I like to round it up to 70 shares. So this is what mean 70 shares. And that's what I did this morning. And again, this here is for a $10,000 account. And again, if you have a $100,000 account, you would trade 700 shares. Doesn't really matter. So let me just mark this in a greenish, something like this, so that we can clearly see what we are looking for. Is this making sense thus far? Because I want to talk about the profit targets here in a moment. But if this is making sense, do me a favor and click on like really quick. As you know, this is how I know whether I'm going too fast or too slow. And I just want to make sure that I'm going at the right pace. So if I'm going at the right pace and you're enjoying this video thus far and this is helping you, click on like. Really appreciate it. Okay, so now let's talk about a profit target. See, one of the biggest problems that I see that traders are making is that they say, you know what? I just stay in the trade until I have enough profits. What is that? What is enough profits? Never, right? Because as traders, we always want to make more money. As traders, we are greedy. And that's good, right? I mean, otherwise, why would we even trade if we don't want to make money? So for me, not to get caught emotionally in a trade, I like to set a profit target. And here is exactly how I do this. Let me show it to you. So I like to work with multiple profit targets. So I like to have, and I'm just moving this here a little bit, a first profit target, and the first profit target should be 2 times my stop loss. So if my stop loss was $2.94, I'm taking this by 2, and I want to apply the first one. This is, let's see, $2.94 times 2, it would be $5.88. So 588 is the first profit target. Now, I also like to use a second profit target where I go for a larger swing. So the second profit target can be 3 times, 4 times my stop loss. And this is where PowerX Optimizer is helping me and tells me exactly of where the ideal profit target and stop loss should be, right? I mean, this is where here it says, okay, at $6.47, that's where I should take the remainder of the profits. So anyhow, the important thing here is, so the second profit target can be a multiple of the stop loss. And the idea here is to catch a larger trend as long as it is there. So I like to use both profit targets. So this means on the first profit target, I would actually buy back, because you remember I sold the shares, I would buy back 1/2 of my position, which in this case is 35 shares. And then at the second profit target, I'm buying back another 1/2 of my position, which is another 35 shares. Now, let me show you exactly what this looks like on the trading platform. So here we go. Here we have the trading platform, and you see EQT. This is the trade that I entered this morning, and right now it is nicely going down. So I am already in the green. Now I know that we have been trading a larger account together previously, where we have $40,000 in there. So this is why you're probably used more at $200, $300, $1,000 per day. But you see, especially when I'm trading with my mastermind, I want to trade an account size that pretty much everybody has. And again, if you have a larger account, it should be fairly easy for you to say, oh my gosh, yeah, I can trade 5 times as many. So my account is $50,000. I'm trading 350 shares. Anyhow, you get the idea. So this is what you see here. I have a stop order in the market at a certain price here at $16.01. So it is higher because I'm betting on a falling market. And I know for some of you, this might be a little bit confusing. Like, how can I make money when the market is going down? Well, you can first sell the shares right now, even though you don't own them, because your broker is lending them to you. And then later you have to buy them back. So the idea is to buy them back at a lower price point. So I want to show you on the chart exactly what this looks like. So let's go on to a chart here. And I want to show you on EQT right here. We're going to bring it up in TradingView so that you see exactly what I'm planning to do here. So my stop loss is at $16. What did I just say? $16.01. So let's mark this here. If we're going up to $16.01, and I'm marking this here to make sure that I hit it exactly, put the text in here and say this is our stop loss. Stop loss at $16.01. And it's supposed to say stop loss. Let me just put this on top here. Okay, now I have my 2 profit targets. So this is what you see here. These are the limit orders. So one is at 11.11. So let's just mark this here. And at 11.11, right here, I will make sure that I'm doing it exactly at 11.11. So this is where I have my first profit target at 11.11, where I'm taking half of my position off the table. And then I'm also having a second profit target. And let me just look it up here at $6.60. So my second profit target is down here. Let me be exact. So this is the second profit target at $6.60. And we put the exact coordinates in here, $6.60. There we go. So as you can see, this is where we are right now. So we're at a 1273. I entered, to be exact, so here you see it, I entered at $12, no, here, at $13.07. So this was my entry at $13.07. As we are going down right now, we're making money. And as soon as we go to 11.11, I'm taking profits off the table. And then I'm also reducing my stop loss so that I can't lose in this trade anymore. And you see right now we are moving nicely in the right direction. So I'm liking this a lot. So let's go back to the question that was asked here. And the question was, where I struggle is where to get out and take profits. Can you speak to your strategy for taking profits? Always, in terms of an exit strategy, always have a stop loss in the market so that you know when to get out when you're wrong, and always have a profit target in the market so that you can get out when you're right and when you're making money. And as you can see, I know that. I know when to get out before I even enter a trade. Because this way, I'm not trading based on emotions when I'm in a trade. Because I like to trade what I see, not what I think. and therefore I place it immediately after I got into the trade. So I got into the trade this morning, and right now I already have my profit target and my stop loss in the market, as you can see. And I'm not fiddling around with it, because the only way to move your stop loss is towards your entry. Anyhow, hope that helps, and this clarifies of what my personal exit strategy is, when to take profits on a trade. And if you enjoyed this video, click on like really quick, and also make sure that you subscribe to this channel. This way you get more videos and notifications whenever I release them. And there's probably a few videos popping up on the screen right now. If you enjoyed this video, click on any of these videos, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, I just decided somewhere in between that this might be a good standalone video for Asia to edit out, so that you have this short segment here. Okay, so let's actually talk about a few questions that you have here, to make sure that I'm answering as many questions, especially around the profit target and stop loss here. Okay, so Zia, we are coming to your question in just a little bit, because Zia said I sold the URL option. So we'll talk about this in just a moment. I just want to stay on trading stocks and options according to PowerX Optimizer here for just a moment. And Joe, I also see your question, so we'll talk about Bitcoin here in a moment. So we can do that. Okay. So let's see. Victor is asking, will you soon be talking about taxes and deductions when trading as a business? Yes, I will take care of this. Already took a note. Or in the next few days, I will do that. Okay. So Mark said, yes, you're absolutely right. I got filled at 1307. Thank you for doing this. I'm coming back to some other questions from Jim here in a moment. And Anthony is asking, did you buy a put or you sell the stock? I actually did both. And this is what I do when I'm trading with my mastermind group, because some prefer to trade options and some prefer to trade stocks. So this is why when we are going back here in the account, you see that I bought the put, and I'm making right now $23 on the put. And I also sold the stock, and I'm making $28 here. Now, I always recommend that you do one or the other. Oops, no idea why Anthony is still in the window here. At least it looks like for me. You were only supposed to be there when I'm on full screen. Anyhow, you get the idea. So I did both here. I recommend that you do only one or the other, but here you can clearly see it doesn't really matter whether you trade an option or a stock. It is around the same amount that you're making here. Okay, so, but great question, Anthony. So BF saying, was the PowerX Optimizer fixed? We are doing it tonight. So last night we did a few more tests. There was something that I didn't like, so I told the development team to fix it. I reviewed it today around noon, so a few hours ago. And yes, we will release this version tonight. So you'll have the new version tomorrow. Okay, Alex, again, I'm doing both. I am selling the stock, and I'm also bought a put. You only do one of those. Okay. Fantastic. So Bernard is asking a great question. Can one generate the profit more from day trading, which is inherently risky, or putting more capital into a trade from the PowerX Optimizers, though less frequently, but with target and stops? You see, Bernard, this is an excellent question. And I want to answer this because it really concerns what we are talking about of when to take profits. So let me actually go to the chart here. And no idea why Bernard's question stays there. So let's take a look just at EQT as an example. So if you look at EQT, and I'm jumping over here to PowerX Optimizer, we will see that at EQT, the average daily range is 98 cents. So EQT is moving around $1 a day right now. And we are looking over the past 7 days. So this is when you swing trade, obviously you need to have a stop loss that is larger than 98 cents. So therefore, you can also have a profit target that is larger. Now, if we go back to, I was actually here on a weekly chart. Here we are on a daily chart. This is what it looks like on a daily chart. You get the idea. So we're nicely in a downtrend here. But if you switch right now, let's say to a 5-minute chart, as you can see, if we are looking at a 5-minute chart, our profit target and stop loss is super, super, super far away from a 5-minute chart. So this is the rule of thumb, Bernard. The smaller the time frame, the smaller your stop loss, but also your profit target. So this is when day trading, I'm surprised. Many people think that day trading is more risky. In fact, it is not. Because instead of risking here, what is it, $2.94 per share, you can probably get away. I mean, let's take a look at this here. Let me just reset the chart. And you can probably get away with a stop loss of only 10 cents. Sorry, I wanted to show the chart. There we go. Okay. So you can do it with only 10 cents here. You can get away with a really, really small stop loss. So this means that day trading gives you smaller profits. You can apply smaller stop losses, but you can trade more frequently. I personally do not like to be glued to the screen all day, and this is why I prefer swing trading stocks and options, because by doing this, all I need is maybe trade for 15 or 30 minutes a day, and that's it. Anyhow, does this make sense? Good. So, let's see. Okay, Donna's asking, my PowerX Optimizer had tons of trades today. Is that a glitch? Nope. There were tons of trades. Again, with the release that we are releasing tonight, there will be fewer tomorrow. Absolutely. Good. All of this makes sense. And Mr. PK is asking, what is about an option trade with EQT? Not quite sure if I understand. You can either sell the stock or you can buy a put and bet on a falling market here. Okay, so Steve Farmer is asking, if you completely profit target out of a trade, will you re-enter the stock in the direction if it indicates more profit target potential? Great question. And let me just show you by jumping on the PowerX Optimizer here, Steve. So with EQT, just want to remove these here because it gets a little bit confusing. So here as an example, as you know right now, I want to go all the way down here to, what did I say, $11, right? And at this point, I think the move is over. I mean, I have my, can even show it on here. I have my 2 profit targets that I'm going to show you right now. And I honestly believe once we go to $11 and then to $6, that move is over. So usually, great question, Steve. But once I'm out of a trade, I look for other opportunities and don't re-enter into the same trade. Because after all, think about it. There is 9,000 stocks traded in the United States. There's plenty of stocks to look at, right? So we don't have to just trade one stock. It's a typical rookie mistake. I made this mistake in the beginning where I was just fixated on a few stocks. And right now, I'm just wide open. I say, hey, you know what? Whatever looks good, I trade it, even though I have no clue what EQT does. Technically, you know that I like to use the 3 indicators and the software, the PowerX Optimizer. So this is where it came up on the scanner. It looked good to me, and we did that. Good. So there were a few questions earlier that I wanted to answer because I think that they were really good ones. So let's talk about Zia's question. Sold a UAL option yesterday at a strike price of 19. Let's take a look at the screen here and let's see exactly what happened here and what did you do. So UAL, bring it up. And oh my gosh. Okay, I am super surprised that you sold a strike price of 19. It's not too bad, but I feel that it is still a little bit aggressive. No, it's actually pretty good. So why do you think it's in trouble? Right now you're trading at 22.80. You're fine. What's the problem? I mean, you're down here at 19. I don't think you're in trouble. We'll see. I mean, always have a plan. So you make sure that you want to own United at this price if you're selling a put at a strike price. Anyhow, good. So Joe is asking about the halving on Bitcoin. So it's interesting. Every 4 years, Bitcoin gets halved, basically, which means that it makes it now even more difficult or more expensive for miners to do this. It doesn't seem that there's a dramatic effect on Bitcoin after this happened, Joe. So looking at the charts here, I believe it happened today or yesterday. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot going on. I mean, it jumped from 10,000 to maybe 9,000. And I don't trade Bitcoin. I don't trade cryptocurrencies. I think there's so much money that can be made with stocks and options. So I'm not messing with it, with this halving and everything that is going on here. So doesn't seem to have a lot of effect on Bitcoin, because as you can see, the move that we saw here is a very typical move for Bitcoin. So it didn't really cut it in half. It didn't double the price. It is just what it is. This is why it's always so important that you trade what you see, not what you think. All right. So good questions there. Let me see. What other questions you have here for me? Because I enjoy hanging out with you here for a little bit, for having a coffee in the afternoon together. I don't know yet if I keep doing this daily. I did it during the crisis because there was so much going on. So probably going forward, we might just meet 2 or 3 times a week. Haven't decided yet. This week I'll definitely be live every day, so we can meet again for the remainder of the week, and then we'll see what I do in the upcoming weeks, just so that you know. Giving you a heads up. Okay. So Stan is asking, offhand, do you know what video shows how to set up the TradingView chart? I don't, but I bet Nicole does. And Nicole is the genius who's putting it in the chat roll here right now. Ah, she already did. So fast. Okay. So Vijay is asking, without PowerX, it will not work. What do you mean? What do you mean if it doesn't work? Of course, it just makes it more complicated. Here's the main difference. When you don't have PowerX Optimizer, let me just show you of what needs to happen here. So this is when every day you're looking for trading opportunities. And every day you probably have to go through a bunch of stocks to see if right now, for example, let's start just with AA, Alcoa Corporation, if they have right now a green or red bar. And here you see, no, so it doesn't have it. Let's check maybe Boeing. Does Boeing have a green or red bar? No, it doesn't. Let's maybe check an airline, American Airlines. If it has a green bar, no, it doesn't. So you see, you have to type in a lot of symbols. And what PowerX Optimizer does, and this is what I like it gives you the best trades according to criteria that you specify. So here, my criteria, I want to make at least 60% a year as a return on investment. I like to price the B between $5 and $250. The profit factor at 3, the risk reward ratio at 2, at least 12 trades, and at least 40% winning percentage. And this is where, based on this, it is filtering me out a few trades that occurred today that meet my criteria. And now I can just go through this list really, really quickly and see, hey, which of these trades do I like best? And when I did it this morning with my mastermind group, we all decided that we liked EQT best. So it just, for me, it saves me a lot of work. And this is why I like using a software, because I don't like to spend hours every night going through stocks. And by the way, if you would like to see my trading routine of how exactly I do it, set up a website for you. It's called mytradingroutine.com. If somebody can post it in the description or maybe in the chat here, it's called mytradingroutine.com. There's a video. It's probably around 35 minutes that shows you in more detail of what I do every day using the PowerX Optimizer, how I find the best trades, how I find the best stocks and options to trade. Again, it's mytradingroutine.com, super easy. So you can go there, check it out. And if you would like to learn more about the software, on that website, there's a button where you can schedule a demo with Paul, one of my students who has been using the software for the last 2 years. And he'll be happy to walk you through the software and show you exactly what it does and see if this might be a good fit for you or not. And Vijay, since you asked the question, so you know what, PowerX Optimizer might be a good solution for you or it might not. Talk to Paul. He can help you figuring it out. Okay. Good. So KW is asking, using PowerX Optimizer, what order and when you place it when you see a black bar after you run the scanner? Well, first of all, the order that I use in general is a stop order to get into a trade. So that's it in general. And yes, you're absolutely right. There's 3 ways to exit. One is the stop loss. One is the profit target. And we just talked about this. And the third is when I see a change in direction, when I see that the momentum is no longer there. And momentum can be to the upside or the downside. Doesn't really matter. But as soon as I see that the stock is losing momentum, I'm getting out of there. And yes, in the software PowerX Optimizer, it is indicated by a black bar. Okay. So Emma Dashkin is asking, what a prediction for the market? Okay, here's my prediction. The market can go up or down or sideways. What I do, trade what I see, not what I think. If I would know where the market is at the end of the year, I don't know. I would probably do something else. I trade. So every day I look, what is the market doing today? What are the best trading opportunities today? Is it today a good day to trade stocks and options according to PowerX Optimizer? Is today a good day to sell put premium, right? To sell puts according to the Theta Kings? Or is today a great day to put on a strangle, trading into earnings? See, that's where you have so many possibilities, and I have no idea where the market will be at the end of the year. But looking at the markets right now, and this is where, as you know, I like to use my 3 indicators, and I look at the Dow Jones. Right now, for the market, it is more likely for the Dow to go sideways. And yes, it seems that we are puking into the close here. Holy moly, look at this. If you switch to a 5-minute chart here, we see that we were just dropping like a rock going into the close. So also for the S&P, what is this market more likely to do? Switch to a daily chart. Right now, it's more likely to go up. NASDAQ, we already talked about it in the beginning of the show here. Oops, just remove this. It's more likely right now to go up. Even though today we have a down day, it still seems that the uptrend is intact. Now, this might change tomorrow. We'll see what the markets do tomorrow. This is why always keep in mind that you trade what you see, not what you think. Hey, thus far, is this making sense? So if it is, do me a favor and click like if you're enjoying it thus far. And also feel free to share this video or this live stream with anybody who you think might be interested in this and might find this helpful. Okay, so Timothy is asking, is your account in a pattern day trading status? No, it is not, because I'm not day trading it. I'm swing trading, so therefore I don't have to worry about it. But there's enough money in all of my accounts. I mean, all of my accounts have more than $25,000 in it, so I wouldn't have a problem with it, but you don't need to do this. So this particular account right now that I'm trading together with my mastermind for stocks, this is not even a margin account. It's a simple cash account. But the other account that I trade for selling put options is a margin account. So I've 7 or 8 different accounts. So all across, all different things. So Timothy, you don't need this. Okay, so Kevin is asking, I want to start a $7,000 cash account with TD Ameritrade after I finish my paper trading practice. Is $7,000 enough? I believe any account size between $5,000 and $7,000 is good to trade stocks and options. If you have a smaller account, and I consider $7,000 a smaller account, I would recommend that you focus on trading options at first, because this way you can grow your account more quickly. By the way, if you need help with this, I did a video on Options 101. There's probably a link in the description or somewhere here in the chat row. Nicole will probably post it. It's Options 101. So if you have no clue about options, you might want to take a look at this and it helps you. So yes, Kevin, $7,000 is great. $10,000 would be optimal, ideal. $5,000, I would say at a minimum, but you're right in between. So you're doing good here. Okay, so Mark is asking, I know when you're selling a put, you keep the expiration date close. Do you keep it closed also when you're buying a put or further out? Great question mark. So here's the deal. When you're selling options, you want to take advantage of time decay. And time decay occurs the most in the expiration that are closest. So this is why here for selling puts or selling options in general, you want to go for the shortest possible time frame. When buying puts, it is the other way around. I did a video on this. It's called Theta in Options. But this is why right here, Mark, let me just show it to you. Here, I actually traded the June 19th expiration. So this gives me, today is May 12th, it gives me 5 weeks. So that's what I like to do here when I'm buying puts and calls. So when buying options, you want to give yourself more time. When selling them, you want to have a really short fuse. Great question mark. Okay. So let's see if there are some other questions. There's Donna who's asking, on the PowerX Optimizer, if you're buying a call, why is the entry price higher than the ask? Okay, so the entry price is the maximum price that I'm willing to pay. If I can get in at a lower price, great. But you see, options, as you have experienced over the past few weeks, can be either expensive or cheap. As long as the VIX is below 30, options in general are usually cheap. This is why you will see that the current price is usually below the price that is specified in the PowerX Optimizer. The PowerX Optimizer gives you a maximum price to make sure that you're not overpaying for an option, Donna. Is this making sense? So because you don't want to, so it keeps you kind of out of trouble. You don't want to buy options when they're expensive. When they're expensive, you want to sell options. And that's why we specify a maximum price. Okay, good. Don is asking, is this episode 36 or 35? It is 36. I believe it is 36. At least that's what I thought it is. Okay, my team can probably answer this, but I believe it is. Okay, so let's see. Dominic says, the VIX is above 30 again. Let's take a look at the VIX here, actually. Good, back to selling puts. I do believe that this morning, yes, we did try to sell a put. And let's take, so you can combine both. It's not that you only have one or the other, but usually you will find more opportunities. Yeah, it's hovering right around 30 here. So it was slightly below 30. Now it is slightly above 30. You see, usually in this area here, this is when you see a lot of opportunities for selling puts. And now there might be fewer opportunities as we are trading around here. So it's not that I say, oh, it has to be at exactly 30. You'll just see that right now, as it is around the 30 level, you don't have as many opportunities as you had previously. The volatility is getting sucked out of the market, and so is option premium. But anyhow, great question. Good. Let's see. That was Dominic here. And see what other questions we have. So Mark is asking another question. With PowerX, do you enter on the first green bar or the second green bar? Here's what I do. Let me show you exactly what I do. And I'm using here the example of EQT. So I'm going to share my screen again. And I'm going to EQT. Here we have a red bar. And here's what I like to see. When I have a red bar, I want to sell as soon as we go below the low of the red bar. When I have a green bar, I want to buy as soon as we go above the high of the first green bar. Okay, so this is where sometimes you're getting in on the next bar. So you can never get in on the first bar. Here's why. Because you never know whether it will be green or red or black until the markets close. So you'll always get in after the first bar. And it can be on the second, can be on the third bar. Most of the time, I want to say probably 80% of the time, it is on the second bar. Anyhow, great question. Good. So Raymond says, hope your schedule allows to continue daily. You see, here's the deal. As long as you're enjoying this, as long as I see that you're joining me here, as long as I see that we still have a lot of viewers and also a lot of likes. And again, these likes are not for my ego. These likes are basically that I see, is this what I'm doing here really interesting to you? So the more people you can motivate to come to the show, to join it, to view the show, to give me a like, if you spread the word, if you share it, I will be more motivated to do it daily. And otherwise, if I see that you're not that interested, hey, we can do it just a couple of times a week or 3 times a week, because I also like to work a lot with my mastermind students, where we trade together, where we deal one-on-one, right? And we were supposed to go on a really cool trip in June, but right now with everything going on, we do it all virtually. So in the mornings we meet and then we trade live together. And we're doing it this week, always for 2 hours in the morning, and it's a lot of fun. Anyhow, Ryman, appreciate the feedback, and hey, that's the deal. So the more likes and the more views we get, as long as you find this interesting and helpful, and it helps you to make money, I'll be happy to join you here for a coffee in the afternoon. Speaking of coffee, it is getting cold, so this means that our 45 minutes already up. Hey, this is always fun. I mean, I don't know about you. For me, time is flying, but very, very normal, right? Because I'm the one talking. But let me ask you, does it also seem quick to you, these 45 minutes, or does it seem rather long? I mean, I try to keep it as quick as possible, right? I'm not dragging it out. I want to get straight to the point. So I hope that for you, time is flying as well. But I also want to be respectful of your time and make sure that we are not spending hours and hours here together, because this way you might come back. And if you had any questions that I was not able to answer, do me a favor, because these chat roles here disappear rather quickly. As soon as I click finish here on the broadcast, it disappears for me. But if you leave a comment right underneath the video, or as always, of course, you can text or call the office. Let me see, I thought that I had it here. Apparently not. Okay, that I had the number here. Anyhow, support@rockwelltrading.com. Feel free to email your questions. And if you're interested in learning more about the PowerX strategy that I use, make sure that you get the book. I'll send it to you for free. It's only $4.95 shipping and handling that I ask you to cover. And yes, we do ship it internationally, even though it might make sense to get it electronically on Amazon as a Kindle. Hey, and if you believe that maybe the PowerX Optimizer could help you in your trading, I mean, I know that many of you already have PowerX Optimizer, but if you're watching and you're wondering, is this something that I should consider investing in? Go to mytradingroutine.com. Watch another video here, around 35 minutes, so you might have to refill your coffee, and then you see exactly what I do and how I use the software to find the best stocks and options to trade. Anyhow, as always, great hanging out with you. Have a great rest of the afternoon, wherever in the world you are. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, 3:30 Eastern time, right here on YouTube. Take care.